Hello guys. So, Jess the book freaks and the DNF police after me. And now I have the DNF tag to do. And just so, since I'm not going to be showing you any books, I have my old lady here with me. This is her cat that I put here just so you guys can see her, because she's very sleepy today and she's gonna start probably snoring and I'm gonna have to wake her, and at least you can see her when I disturb her. Hey, lots of sleeping. Oh, kisses. Well, so I do not know who did this tag originally, so I'm sorry for that. I'm just gonna go right ahead on the questions. Oh, before that, Jess couldn't know this, but I actually had an idea about a video where I would go to my DNF pile, metaphorically pile, and now we are kind of shining because of the weather. And would save a couple of books. And well, I guess I will just do that or talk about those books at the end. By the end of this video, you guys gonna hate me so much, but so much. But wait, let's go to it. The first question is: do you DNF? Yes, I DNF a lot because I get into all kinds of strange, ridiculous books that I just see and grab, and sometimes I don't even know exactly what they are about. And if I'm not about to lose my precious time reading books that I am not personally liking, they can be amazing, but if I don't like, I DNF'd. Question number 2. Again, I'm looking at the questions. You guys, by this point, know that I'm bad at looking at the camera. If I'm looking, I may be looking at questions, cats. You guys know the drill by now. So, question number 2. If you do DNF, does it count for your finished books for the month? No. I have to finish the book for it to count. And if I DNF, I didn't finish. I think that's quite simple, right? That's what the majority of people do. I mean, if you don't do that, more power to you, I guess. Question number 3. Is there a difference between DNF and just putting the book down for a bit? I think I cut for a little bit, exactly. I did cut the question. Yes, there is a difference. I use a lot of my Goodreads to keep track of that. Also, shameless plug to my Goodreads page. If you want to follow me there, I'm super active there. I usually am like just putting in, taking books, and so in case you guys also are Goodreads freaks like me, just go there, add me as friends. I totally accept you. But as I was going to say, on my Goodreads, I do have 2 categories for kind of DNF. Again, not DNF. I have the actual DNF category where with books that go there, they go there to die, basically. I do not plan to go and read them, and no, they just dead to me. And then I have a category, if I'm not mistaken, what I have put as the name is Will Come Back To, because it's books that I start reading, I know I want to keep reading, I know I want to finish them, but I either don't have the time, it's not what I want to read at that moment, and I have no obligation to finish that book for whatever reason, or just yeah, I guess it's that I have the time or I don't have the head to be reading that. So I do have a difference. Number 4. What popular books have you DNF? Are you guys ready to... I'm gonna be so killed. I'm gonna be lynched. I'm gonna put this record out there, and then I'm gonna hear the screams outside, and you guys will be with your pitchforks waiting for me on the street. Okay. I went to my DNF category on Goodreads shelf. That's how they call it, shelf. My DNF shelf, and I took all of the major names and I found it. Well, I'm gonna start with any book of Stephen King that I have tried. I have tried quite some. I didn't took the names of them because I actually tried a lot of them. Now that I'm trying to find the name, now that I'm trying to think of the names, that's stupid of me. I should have put the names of the Stephen King books, but it was several Stephen King books, and so now I'm just DNFing all of Stephen King, and that's that. Are you okay over there? Yeah. Okay. Let's just do this. If you guys gonna kill me, guys gonna kill me. Wow. The perks of being a wallflower. I completely hate it. It was just a couple of pages, and that sounded to me like it just sounded quite bad. I'm so afraid. It was too teenage whiny for me. It's just like I wanna be like the cool kids and do drugs and drink, but I'm not with that life. Every heart a doorway. I mean, this is the one. Again, stupid me didn't took the names of the authors because why would I? But it's the first one of the series of little books. I think it's under 200 pages each, about a school. Again, I love the idea. It's a school of kids to rehabilitation / school for kids that fell into other dimensions, like the Wonderland, the Underworld, Narnia type of worlds. Think about those types of worlds were like kids that fell into other dimensions and came back, and now they are adapted to our world. And I was thinking, yeah, this is a cool idea. And then I could see there was like ticking boxes after boxes after boxes for representation and all of those things. Now, don't get me wrong, I love representation. I hate books that do it just because, yes, and I just stop it. Not just representation, it's like the stereotypes and all of those things, and I just like, this is not for me. I'm sorry. This will probably be but it could even be a good story and help somebody, but not me. The Raven Boys. That one I just didn't like. The Name of the Wind. That book. It was just like I feel like I need to explain myself every time. But that book explained things twice at least. It showed us things twice. That book is just as big as it is. I think I went almost like 200 pages on that one. And from those 200 pages could have been condensed to 50 pages. The rest, it was just repetition of repetition of repetition. Like, that's not how you write a book. The idea could be awesome, but please trust that your readers have something in their heads and can understand the idea that you are giving them, or the things that you are trying to show and explain. A Room of One's Own, and I'm just gonna DNF Virginia Woolf, to be honest, it's not for me. Ready Player One, no. Clockwork Orange, A Wrinkle in Time, and Nimona, not for me. Those are the most famous books that I have DNF'd, I think. I have DNF'd many more books, many books. I think it's not that many so far. I think my DNF shelf is like on 57 books or something. So yeah, am I already gonna sentence to die? Also, can you guys hear the loud purr? Because she's purring so loud for me. I don't know if the microphone can catch it. Where were we? What are some books you wish to DNF'd? I don't know. There's probably a couple of books, but I do eliminate the bad books from my mind pretty quickly, so I cannot remember. I know that I gave a couple of 1 and 2 stars, so some books that I really didn't like, but I read till the end. Probably would be happier if I didn't have read that much, but I don't remember names. Have you ever reattempted to read a DNF book, and was it successful for you? No, not yet. I'm shining now again. This is my life now. But I have 2 books that I will try to reread next year, and I'm gonna go back to them at the end of this. Next question. Number 7. What do you do with DNF books? I give them away. I mean, lots of them are from the library, so I just take them back to the library. If they are mine and I have to DNF them, I just give them to the library. I donated them or give to friends if they like. Yeah, first I ask the friends, then goes to the library. Do you choose more or less risky titles based on your DNF policy? I read everything. My DNF policy is just here to help me to read everything, so basically yes, I do. I think my DNF policy does influence my chosen, because my choosing of titles, because if I see a book in them, and even if I'm just like a tiny bit curious, I pick it, and by page 50, 20, even page 5, if I see that book is not for me for any reason, I DNF'd it. So yeah, I think it makes me a little bit more of a risk taker with my books. And then tag 5 other YouTubers. I don't have 5 people to tag, but I do want to tag 3 people. 3, see? Now this is the new 3 people. I want to tag Tyler G, a couple of books, and bookmarks and birthsticks. If you guys have already done this, I tried to search to see if you guys have done it. If you guys have done it, well, it's done. But if you didn't, you have been called to explain your sins to the DNF police. Now, to the second part of this video, that I want to just smash it in with this tag because it fits right in. There are 2 books that I just rescued as I was gonna words as I was going through my DNF shelf. I just rescued 2 books because I have been thinking about them since I tried to read them. One of them is June by Frank Herbert. Now, I read this book. I started reading this book a couple of months ago, and I put it down and I put it on my DNF list, but I think the only reason I put it on my DNF list was because it wasn't the best time to be reading it, and I don't think that it's a book that I should be reading as an audiobook, and I think I need to actually sit with it and spend some time with it, because I didn't think it was badly written. I didn't. I didn't have any major problem with it. I was just feeling bored, and I don't think that my feeling bored at the time was because of the book. It was just because it wasn't working for me on audiobook, and because of other things on my life that it wasn't putting my mood on a good place. And I don't think that hard science fiction is something that everyone wants when they aren't in the best mental space. And the other one is a little bit worse. And the other one is I'm reading it. I'm laughing because everyone and their mother loved this writer, and I had so many complaints while I was listening. Again, I had this from Open Library, and I was listening to it there. And it's Mistborn from Brandon Sanderson. Now, I genuinely had complaints and problems with this. And should I go there? I'm just gonna explain myself. I do wanna give it another go, because first, some of my friends really love this trilogy. I think it is, though, if I'm not mistaken, it is in the same world that another series or something, but I think this one is a separate trilogy. Two of my friends loves it, and a lot of people love it, and I was just like, is it just me? Do I need to try this again? I probably should. And I couldn't take the book out of my mind. But I did had some genuine complaints about it. First, I think I'm not sure exactly how many pages I read, but I know that I read quite a bit. I knew I read it until the main protagonist got the first explanations of what it is, allomancy. I think that's how the magic system is called. Now, lots of people like this because of Brandon Sanderson's writing. I don't think his writing is anything special. I mean, it's okay, I guess. I have had read worse and had read better. He's a little bit wonky with his dialogue for me. There is a lot of like dialogue she said, dialogue he said, dialogue she said, dialogue he said, or he interjected, or he pointed, or he signed, and I'm just, that bugs me a bit. I mean, there is one type of book that uses that a lot. That happens quite a bit on Arthurian tales, for example, especially the older ones. But again, the older ones, sometimes it's from the time it was and the type of book it was, and sometimes it's used like comic relief. I do remember, like on the Once in Future King, on the first book of that compilation of books, two of the knights were talking about finding the tutor for a kid, and when they were talking, it was like Sir, name of the knight said, Sir la 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 said, Sir. It had that repetition, but I think then on that case, for example, was trying to, it was for comic relief, because it gave this pace to the dialogue, because I noticed that after that the other books on that compilation didn't do that much, or when they did, they used it more with the knights, and like it felt something, it felt that it was on purpose. So just to explain that, I do read books that do that, but I don't know. It didn't. The writing itself looked like effective enough, but not something that I would die for. I didn't think. The other reason that people usually like that is the magic system. I do not. I was like, is it just that? Because I mean, I don't think it is a spoil for me to say what the magic system is, but if you don't want to find out, I'm just gonna put this hand like this and mute me while this hand is up like this. So the magic system of that book is basically, I think you have to ingest metals, the noble metals from the periodical table, and each metal gives you a different power. I do not think that is. I mean, I can see that it's original, that people didn't do that before. But the idea of having to digest something is not, how to say, pretty. Imagine that the things that's happening on the stomach is not like the most classy thing on the magic system, for example. And the idea that different metals or stones give different abilities is not new. It's something very, very old, because we use that on paganism, for example. Very pagan systems have like, this stone does that, this stone does another. If you guys know what I mean. So I was like, okay, this is different, but I'm not dying for it, let's say that. So, okay, enough of the magic system. The other one is the third reason why people get third reason why people usually like the book is the main character. I do not like her. I think she's boring. Because for a girl that supposedly has passed what she passed, she has the personality of a whetstone. I am so sorry, but she doesn't say or think anything out of that mind, or out of. It's just pretty basic protagonist till the point I've read. And another complaint that I had was that at the point I've read, I had been someone. To the point that I've read the book, I have been explained at least 2 or 3 times. 2 of those times to the main character what the allomancy was. I exactly stopped in a place that she was talking with someone about it, and the dialogue seemed like it seemed basically like this. Oh, a quick dramatization. Oh, you have that power. Yes, I have that power. So, you are this and that. No, I just can use one part of this power. This means I can do this, this, and this. Oh, so you can do this, this, and this. Amazing, but you cannot do that, and you're like, no, I can only use part of it. I'm just like, this is not how you explain things to the reader. Now, I want to give that book another try to see if those things were making me go feral mode, or if because of me, or at the time, because it was pretty close to when I tried to read Dune, and again I keep shining, dear Lord, or if it's really the faults of the book. Again, please do not kill me. I do, again, those 2 I'm gonna give a second try next year. I'm still gonna decide. Well, June I'm gonna have to buy the book. I'm still trying to decide if I'm gonna get physical copy, gonna read the physical copy of Mistborn, or if I am gonna try it again as an audiobook. We shall see. I will update you on this one when it goes I do want to do this in January or February, like be the first thing I get over with for all my big goals for next year, because when you guys hear about my goals, you're gonna be like, girl, you crazy. But this video has been big already. I start the rant and this is what happens. Why do I do this to you guys? Please, why? I'm just gonna stop the video. She's trying to sleep again, aren't you? Oh, the glare. Yeah, say bye bye. Bye guys.